Okay, good morning, everyone. So we'll kick on. So this morning we're doing accounts in Relay. So what I'm going to be showing you is how to post normal payments onto Relay. I'm going to explain how that, what they are, and how that works in terms of reconciliation. And then I'm going to show you how to post direct payments onto Relay. And again, I'll show you how to reconcile those and how they work. We'll also look at some renewal processes in terms of posting renewals, transferring them, lapsing them. And then I'll also show you how to do a client journal transfer, which is where you transfer a credit from one account over to another account that has a debit on it. So that's quite a common process that you have to carry out in Relay. So to begin, I'm just going to go to accounts I have mocked up here. So that one there. Okay, so we're just going to start off here with a normal premium posting. Okay. Now, just to clarify, what I'm showing you here is accounts done on a manual basis. And for most of the policies, if you set a whole mixture of policies, most of the time you'll be doing this on a manual basis. But as I mentioned in the previous sessions this week, we do have auto posting available for motor or home, where the system can actually do it for you. But for the time being, just park that and let's just look at how the system actually works and how to do things manually. And then we can talk about the auto posting again at the end. So you can see here I have a travel policy. It currently has a temporary status. So temporary means it's a quote on Relay. Okay, so that's quite straightforward. Temporary means it's just a quote. Okay, you can see here I have a travel policy. It makes no difference what type of policy it is in terms of accounts. Okay, so when you're posting premiums, posting cash, it makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. So this could literally be anything. Okay, it could be motor, home, van, etc. So you can see here this is going to be a normal posting. So what is a normal posting? Well, a normal posting is basically where you, the broker, is going to collect the premium and the fee. Okay, so you're responsible for collecting the premium and the fee, and then paying on the net premium onto the insurance company. Okay, now that could be obviously in straightforward situations, they're just paying you in cash, check, or card. But it also could be if you're setting it up on finance with companies like Premium Credit or Close. So they would be a normal posting as well, because regardless that it's been set up with a finance company, you, the broker, are going to be collecting the full amount. It's just that the finance company will be paying you on behalf of the client. Okay, so normal is if they're paying you in full, and also for finance with Close Premium Finance and Premium Credit. Okay, so how do we post a premium up onto Relay? So I've got two options here. There is the premium button then doing the base. Or I can just right click, which I showed you there on Tuesday, post premium. So either or is fine. It's up to yourself. It doesn't really matter. And you can see here that the system is saying new business. So I suppose the first thing I'd say is, guys, in terms of posting premiums on Relay, there is logic built into the account system. So what I mean by that is it looks at the current status and the current date, and it gives you the options that it thinks you need. So obviously there is rules in the background that decide what options are going to display. So you can see in this case, I'm not getting any options here to post a renewal or do an endorsement or do a return or anything like that, because the system says, well, it couldn't be because the status is currently only temporary. So therefore, the only thing that I could do is post new business, which is correct. Okay, there's the policy number. I just manually added that in previously. And then I'm just making sure I'm happy with the department and the handler. So just to clarify with the department and handler, we do have three different levels of department and handler on Relay. So we have the client level, we have a policy level, and we also have an accounts level. Okay. Now some brokerages are very specific. They would literally have three different people doing these three different things. So they have a client owner, which might be a director of the brokerage who manages high level accounts. And then you'd have just a general insurance staff member who manages the policy. And then you might have somebody who separately does the accounts. So it all depends. But the bottom line is you can run reports and it can show you the different handlers at the different levels. Alternatively, just to keep it simple, we'll just use the same handler and department on these examples. So you can see here payment type, normal or direct. So this is the crucial part of the process. So what is the difference? So as I said, normal is basically where you're going to be collecting the premium and fee yourselves. The client or the finance company will pay you. Direct is basically where the client is going to be paying the premium directly to the insurance company. So we're pretty much talking about insurer direct debits. Okay, insurer direct debits. Now, it can also mean that the brokerage might just take a credit card and pay it across to the insurance company. I have seen some brokers doing that. But 95% of the time, direct means insurer direct debits, okay? It's very important that you pick the right one, because the account system splits off and behaves differently depending on what you do here. Okay. The good news is it's all fixable. Okay. So there's a little feature here they're going to show you in a moment called post fixing that will allow you to reverse this if you do make the mistake. I'm going to pick normal because that's what I want to do. And I'm going to just select the insurance company. In this case, I'll pick Zurich. And I'm just going to put in some figures here. Again, just making this up. You can actually just see here, just to clarify, guys, the levy is automatically built into the system. We have a levy of 5% as standard, but we also have a levy table in the background. So for some motor insurers, or some insurers for motor policies like private motor or taxi or CV, they do charge a higher levy. Last year, some of them increased their levies to 7.5%. So we do have a table in the background that can fix that if you're having that issue. And also you can see that the system automatically pulled in a commission rate there of 10%. But it did that because in the background, in this maintenance area, there's a company analysis table. And I basically told the system, if I sell a travel policy for Zurich, pull in 10%. And that's basically what it's doing. However, I can't override that if that's wrong. Okay, and I can override that. I can change that to say 30 euros if I wanted. So this is, you can amend this here if you wish. The fee is the broker fee. What you're charging on top. So what you're going to earn here is this commission amount plus this fee. So that's your income per policy, the two of these combined. And then this is going to be your inception date. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and post that, press OK. And you can see now I have a debit of 325. So that's the 300 net premium, sorry, gross premium, plus the 25 euros fee, and the balance is 325. So you can see here that the line has actually changed a little bit. Zurich has now been added to the policy. The renewal date has moved on to next year, which is basically how Relay behaves. So if you post a confirmed premium on Relay or on a policy line, the renewal date automatically moves on to the next year. So it's not a mistake. I know they haven't paid, but that's okay. That's just the way the system behaves. It'll move it on. Status is new business, and there's the figures. If we go to the accounts tab, you'll see there's the transaction posting. And if I double click on it, it gives me all the detail of who posted it and when. Now the accounts tab, as I mentioned on Tuesday, is basically the transactions between you and the client. So if the client owes you money, you're going to see a transaction sitting in this accounts tab. So obviously they do owe us money because I just posted a normal payment for a travel policy where the client has to pay us $325. So that transaction is sitting in this accounts tab, and it'll sit there until 1, he pays us, and 2, I run a month end. So month end is an accounts process that's run on the last working day of every month, and it archives off these transactions into this transactions area here in this button. This is the archive area. Okay. So the accounts tab, any transactions you see sitting here are generally just current transactions. They're relatively new. They might be from last month. Maybe they just didn't pay you and they're still sitting there. On the flip side of it, you have the company tab. So I'm also seeing a transaction sitting in the company tab. So why is that? Well, the company tab represents the insurance companies. So it basically means that I need to pay on a premium, a net premium to Zurich in this case for the travel policy. So it's sitting there until such time that we reconcile and pay on the money to the insurance company. So there's two sides to the system: the accounts tab, which is the client side, and the company tab, which is the insurer side. Okay. Now, I've posted up a premium. It all looks good, but what happens if we made a mistake? Okay, everybody makes mistakes. So the good news is it's very easy to take down a mistake in Relay in terms of a premium posting. All you basically have to do is just go to either the accounts tab or the company tab, either or, and then right click on the posting and click combine, or sorry, posted in error. So select posted in error, and the system will basically reverse that. It'll take it down, and it's like it never happened. So you can see it's done a post fix, which is posted a minus amount, cleared them off, which is allocated them to each other, which is good. And then I'm back to 0, I'm back to temporary, I'm back to 2020. So post fixing has allowed us to quickly take down that error. So maybe I posted it up with the wrong fee or the wrong commission. It could be anything. So I'm just going to show you just a little document here just to explain posted in error in a bit more detail. So use posted in error for any of these scenarios. So any of these scenarios in green is good. So you've posted the wrong insurer, policy, payment type, gross premium, commission. It's literally any mistake at all, okay? But what you don't do is use it for these scenarios. And again, over the few years that I've been doing training and account management for Relay, I've seen staff doing some really strange things and using it really for situations that they shouldn't be using it. Okay, so you don't use it in any of these scenarios, i.e. the new business policy has been cancelled. Okay, we don't do that because we have a premium posting called new business not taken up, which will actually take down the premium and change the status to not taken up, which is what we would want. Same thing if it was cancelled midterm. We have a premium posting called midterm policy lost, which will cancel the policy, put them in credit and change the status. And so on and so on. You can see here I have a few different examples here. So the point is, if somebody cancels it, transfers it, or lapses it, we don't use posted in error. We will post one of these premium types to take down the debit, put them in credit and change the status. Okay, so just keep that in mind because it's a very common mistake that I see. We only use posted in error when you've made a mistake. There could be another scenario where I would use it, which maybe is you've just negotiated on the fee. So the customers come back to you and say, listen, you were charging me 25 euros on that. If you waive the fee, I'll go ahead with you. Okay, so that's another example where, yeah, I would use post-fixing on that. So I just take down the premium as I've done and just go and post it again. And this time, I'm just going to wipe the fee. So that would be perfectly fine if you want to use post-fixing in that scenario. That's okay. So I wipe the fee, press OK, and now we're going to be back. And this time the debit's just going to be 300. There's no fee. So that's how you use post-fixing. Okay. Now, one thing to point out is another mistake that I commonly see on Relay is somebody has posted up a premium and they're looking at the line. They go, oh, that shouldn't have been normal. It should have been direct. Or, oh, I've posted up with the wrong insurance company. I'll just double click on this line, open up the policy details screen and just manually change it to a different insurance company, or maybe they want to change it to direct. That's completely wrong. That does not fix the problem. In the company reconciliation, the transaction is still under Zurich. Okay, so by opening up the policy details line, that does not fix the problem. And I've seen it umpteen times over the years that staff or people who are using the system think that's fixing the problem. The only way to fix an account problem is to take it down and repost it. Okay, so that's the only way to fix accounting problems. If you're opening up a line like this and you're manually changing something like the status or the insurer, I can nearly guarantee you're going wrong. So just please keep that in mind. So as I said, we've posted up the premium. I can see it now in the accounts tab there, and I can also see it in the company tab. Let's just have a quick look at that in the company rec. I know maybe a lot of you may not use the company rec, but I think it's important in terms of understanding how the account system works. So I'm after posting up a 300 euro gross premium for Zurich for Relay accounts. Let's go into the company rec and have a look at it. So company rec, Zurich, filter. And there it is. You can actually see it at the top. See there in black at the top of the screen. So this is basically where the account staff, your brokerage, goes to reconcile and pay on the monies to the insurance company. So you understand, obviously, there's a net premium that needs to be settled with the insurance company who's underwriting the policy. So in this case, Zurich, if I select the transaction, is owed 271.43, and we're earning the commission of 28.57. So that's basically what the account staff do. They get an insurer statement in with a list of transactions that you've set up in your brokerage. They come in here and they select them one at a time, and they're basically cross-checking what's on the Relay system, what's on the account statement or the insurer statements. And what they're trying to do is make sure that they're correct. And if they're not correct, then they can fix it here in this area. So it might just be something simple. Maybe, for example, the net premium was 270 on the nose. So they can just change that to 270, press tab, and then you will earn the additional 30 euros, and then they can click reconcile. And they basically just repeat that process for every single transaction. However, if you've made mistakes when you're posting your premiums, that's going to feed into the company rec, and now they won't be able to reconcile it. And you might have made a few different mistakes. You might have forgotten to post the premium altogether. You might have posted it on the wrong insurance company. You might have posted it as a normal when it should have been a direct, and so on and so on. So my point is, guys, regardless if you're doing this type of work or not, I'm just stressing that what you do on your end has a knock-on effect to the account staff. So what happens normally is the account staff will just boomerang it back to you and say, listen, that's wrong, you got to fix it. If it's just a simple case that the commission rate was wrong, that's a simple fix. But if there is other bigger issues like the gross premium was wrong, or again, you've posted under the wrong insurance company or things like that, then that's when they'll probably come back to you and say you got to fix it. You can actually see here Relay accounts is in black, and it's in black because it's not fully paid. Okay, the blues basically mean they're fully paid. The black means they're partial paid or not paid at all, and then the pink actually means they're on direct debits. Okay, so Relay accounts is currently in black. We'll come back to that in a moment. So let's go ahead and maybe receipt the money. That's how do you receipt money in Relay. So if we go to either the cash button, or you can right click and post cash. So I am a big fan of the right click because I think really everything that you would want to do is sitting here on the options. So I'm going to stick with that. So post cash. So what are we doing here? Well, there's a debit on the account of €300 and it needs to be paid. So how do we settle it? So we use the post cash, and you can see down the bottom here I have my posting details section. So this is basically where I'm going to receipt in the money. So let's look at some different scenarios here in terms of posting cash. So a straightforward option would be he's paying you in full stop. Grand. So €300 goes in here to the amount. And you just click on the drop down menu and you select your payment type. Okay, and you may not have everything that I have. So if you don't have online card set up, then obviously you wouldn't see that. Just to clarify the difference between card and online card, because it comes up a lot. Online card will actually launch the online card service in Relay if you have one set up. So with WorldNet or Relex, it allows you to take credit and debit cards through the system. If you pick card, it is assuming that you're using the card machine in your office. So one of those physical card terminals where you put in the card or swipe the card or tap the card. And that's basically Relay will ask you, did you actually take the money or did it go through? Okay, so card means you're taking it on a physical card terminal machine in your office, but online card will launch the built-in card service with, again, WorldNet or Relex, and you can take the payments. Okay, scroll down here, you can see bank transfers there. That's quite a common one that's used. So you have all your payment option types are accounted for. I'm just going to use cash to keep it simple. And how do I allocate this? Just click allocate or even automatic, either or. And it takes the credit and it allocates it to the debit, and the balance is now 0. And I can see that the OK button is available. That basically means is that I can proceed. I have accounted for the money and I can go ahead and press OK. If I pressed OK, the system will generate a cash receipt and it'll give me the option to print it. If you don't print the cash receipts, they will automatically store in the Documents tab. Okay, they store automatically in the Documents tab. So that was if they paid you in full. What if they're only partially paying you? So what if he's only paying you half now? What do we do there? So again, put in the amount that they're giving you. It's always the amount that they're paying you, whether you like it or not. Pick your payment type. And then in terms of these buttons, you use remainder for partial payments. Remainder for partial payments. And then you can see there's a balance still sitting on the account of 150. Another couple of scenarios is what if they overpay you? So if they overpay you, 301, put in 301 here and put in a -1. And then if it's an underpayment, you put in 299 and then a +1 and press OK, and that will allocate it. You can see if you're doing the right thing by the OK button. That's basically, if I had made a mistake there, which I just done a moment ago, the OK button wasn't available. So now I know that that's correct. I have everything accounted for. Okay. So in terms of the buttons at the end, guys, allocate or automatic is what you can use when you're fully being paid. It'll look at the credit and the debit and allocate them to each other. Remainder is what we use for partial payments. Unallocated, the only time we normally use unallocated is if they are paying on direct debits and you're maybe collecting a deposit on behalf of the insurance company. So I'm going to actually do that on the next example. I'm going to show you that. Enter amount is something you can use if there's a number of debits on the account. So maybe they have a motor, home, van policy, and they're giving you a lump sum, and they want to be real specific. They want to pay off certain amounts of each policy type. So this is where you can click enter amount, select the policy, and tell the system how much you want to pay off that particular policy. So you can see here I just allocated 50 euros against the travel policy, and I still have 250 euros to play around with. Now, if I had additional policies that had debits on them, I could then proceed on and allocate the monies against them. Okay, so enter amount is basically where you want to be real specific about the credits that you want to allocate to the policies. But if they're paying in full, allocate or automatic is fine. And then if for partial payments, click remainder. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and cash this off because I just want to show you the company rec. So 300, allocate, I'm good to go. I've got my OK button. And then it'll ask me to want to print a receipt. I'm going to say no. So those receipts, they store automatically in the Documents tab. And what you can do there is, I'll be showing you this probably tomorrow in more detail, the features. And one of the big features of Relay is the Outlook integration. So I could actually launch an email. I'll try to launch it in this demo system. I'm not sure if it's working. But you can launch an email in Relay. And what you can do then is you can drag and drop the receipt into the email. So if I just drag and drop it down and drop it there, you can see it attaches as a PDF. So again, we're going to be talking about this in more detail tomorrow, but that's something that users of Relay would do quite frequently. Once the customer has paid the money, they'll drag and drop the receipt into an email and send it off. Okay, so just to show you that then, to finish off that normal example, if I go back into the company rec and pick Zurich and filter, date, you can see now that the Relay account one is in blue, and it's in blue because it's been fully paid. And now if I select it, I can see that the transactional information is correct. Well, I'm assuming it's correct if the insurance statement came in and it was slightly off, as in the net premium was higher or lower. Again, it's a simple enough fix. You just overwrite it and press tab, and the system will give you more or less commission, and then you can click reconcile and it goes red. So basically, the accounts person repeats that process for all confirmed transactions, and then when they're finished, they click commit, and that confirms them. Okay, so that was the normal. So just to confirm, you're getting paid in full either by the client or by a finance company, post a normal premium. If you made a mistake, right click, post an error, and then repost it with the correction. So let's move on. Let's have a look at a direct case. Okay, here's another account, and this time I'm going to do a direct posting just to show you how that behaves a little bit differently. So we're going to post up a direct premium on this. So click premium. Again, it's a new business case. It is pulling in all the details, and this time I'm going to change it from normal to direct. So again, this is for insurer direct debits. That's basically the main reason we would pick this. Pick your insurance company and put in your figures. And press OK. So you can see in this example, look, the total due is different from before. Now it's saying 25 euros. Well, it's saying 25 euros because I've posted it as a direct. So as far as the account system in Relay is concerned, the brokerage only has to collect 25 euros. The premium itself is going to be paid directly onto the insurance company. Okay, so that's why it says total due is 25. If I click into the accounts tab, which we looked at earlier, look, the only thing that's sitting in the accounts tab, and again, the accounts tab is the transactions between you and the client, is the fee. So that's the only thing that's owed to the brokerage. If I look at the company tab, you can see the details of the transaction is sitting there. And that still needs to be settled because I need to earn my commission. Okay, so even though I'm not collecting any premium from the client, I still have to reconcile the commission in the company rec in Relay. So that's why you're seeing the transactions in the company side. Okay. I know one thing that happens sometimes with users is they post up a direct premium and they don't add on a fee. So I'm not charging a fee. And what happens is when they post it, there's nothing in the total due, it's blank and the balance is zero and they think that they've made a mistake. They haven't made a mistake. It's just basically they haven't charged a fee. Therefore, there is nothing to be posted in the accounts tab because the client doesn't owe you any money. But if you look at the company tab, you will still see the transactions still sitting there. And if you wanted to post fix it, you can just right click and post fix it from the company tab if you've, again, made some sort of mistake and you want to fix it. So you can use the post an error on the company tab, and you can also use it on the accounts tab. It'll take it down either side. Okay. So I suppose just to go ahead and receipt that money, we can click the cash button. But before I do that, you can see here that the client owes us €25. One thing that is quite common with insurer direct debits is that the insurance company will ask the brokerage to collect a deposit on their behalf. So maybe like a 10% deposit. So you can see in this case, the premium is €300. So they might want to collect €30 on behalf of the insurance company, in addition to the 25 fee that needs to be paid. So in total, the client needs to pay 55 in this example. So how do we do it? So if I just go back to the cash posting screen, and you can see here the amount, always put in the amount that they're actually paying you. Okay. So in this example, I'm collecting the €25 and I'm collecting a 10% deposit because it is quite common that the insurance companies will ask you to do that. Now, and again, just put in your payment type, and now we're going to allocate the postings. So I'm going to allocate €25 of this 55 to the fees, which clears it. I just clicked allocate there. And now the system is saying, well, what about the €30? What's going on with this? I'm going to leave it unallocated. Okay, unallocated. And the reason is it's a DD deposit to the insurer. Now I have my OK button and I can press OK. So the system will put them in credit for €30. You can see it there, a minus 30. And then what the account staff would normally do is just raise a journal. Now a journal is basically a way of dealing with outstanding debits and credits on accounts. So maybe bad debts or refunds, or in this case, a DD deposit to insurer. So there's a credit on the account. We need to pay that credit on to the insurance company, and then we need to balance the account in Relay. So to do it, you raise a journal, DD deposit to insurer, and put in €30. So we're basically telling the system we have paid on €30 to the insurance company, and I'm just going to click automatic, and that allocates everything together. So there's the journal I just posted, and press OK. And now the account is balanced. So obviously I do need to pay on that money to the insurance company. Relay doesn't know that I've done it, or it's not going to remind me to go into my bank account and transfer the funds. But we do need to balance the account in Relay. And that's what we're trying to do, as you're using the account system. I shouldn't be going into client portfolios if I'm doing a review of your system and seeing debits sitting there or credits, from months ago or years ago. That's just not how you use it. The balances should ultimately always be zero. There's always going to be age debt on your accounts. There's always going to be clients who are taking ages to pay you, months, and that's fine as long as you're aware about it and you're chasing them and you're trying to get payments. But ultimately, if they're not going to pay you, you would have to probably raise a bad debt journal and just clear it off. Okay. So the journal button is basically a way of you cleaning up the accounts and dealing with refunds and DD deposits to insurers. If I go into the company rec for this one, just to show you how it looks a little bit different. So this is AIG applied, yeah. So company rec, AIG, filter, and you can see it there. There it is at the top, and it's in pink. So the pink basically means it's on direct debits. And I've actually selected, you can see here at the base of the screen, it looks a little bit different. There's no net premium to pay on to the insurance company. All I'm literally doing here is just reconciling the commission. Okay. So if you do want to change the commission, if it's wrong, this is how you fix it here, the amount to transfer. Don't override this. That's not how you fix a commission payment for direct debit. you use this amount to transfer. So if I wanted to bring it down to 28 euros, I just put in 0.57, press tab, and that brings it down. Okay, so you can use this amount to transfer to fix the commission if it's wrong. I mean, you could go back to the account and post-fix the premium and go back in here and it'd be right, but that's kind of the long way around. It's a lot faster to fix it here. So if you want to bring it down, put in a plus and then vice versa. And once it's on the correct amount, click reconcile and it goes red. And then to finish, you click commit. Okay, so just to use it there, just ask me if you do take a deposit on behalf of the insurer, will you set the activity for accounts then to send the deposit over to the insurer? So really the answer to that, it depends on your own internal processes for that. So if you've collected a deposit on behalf of an insurance company, yes, the accounts team would need to be notified. Now there's ways of, there's the reports that they can run to pick that up, in fact. So if there is amounts outstanding on the accounts, they can run reports to pick it up. Or alternatively, you can go to diary, new, and you can raise a diary for the accounts person to say, listen, I just posted a deposit on behalf of whatever insurer, can you pay that on? So you could raise a diary. And again, I'm going to be looking at this in more detail tomorrow. The diary is great because you can actually just set a diary for a particular user to make, and then obviously that would be live until they close it off, or you could just basically send an email. Or you could be filling in a slip of paper, a one pager that notifies the accounts team. You put them in a tray and then they pick them up at the end of every day. It really depends, but you certainly have to have your own internal process to deal with that, or else the credit will just sit there. So they either needed to run reports to pick them up, you need to raise a diary, you need to email them, or you need to fill in a page and then they'll pick them up off a tray at the end of the day. So I've seen various different things in different offices. Okay, I'm just going to move on now. So just one thing to point out just before I move on. We'll go back to the first one there on the normal. You can see here that they've paid in cash. If I right click on that and select posted in error, you'll get that option, you'll get that message. Transaction type is not yet supported. I cannot post-fix cash in Relay yet, or you cannot post-fix cash. It's only possible to post-fix the premiums that you've posted up. So whether it's new business or renewal or endorsements, I cannot post-fix the payment type. Okay, we just don't have that yet. And hopefully we will have it. It is in production, I think, or in development. So how do we deal with that? What happens if we ran a daily cash book? So I go into reports, daily and cash book. The cash book tells you what payments you've taken for the day. And the accounts person are looking at it and going, well, actually, there's a mistake on this. We did not take X amount in cash. We actually got a check in for the amount. So this is wrong. We didn't take it in cash. So some brokerages, to be honest, just couldn't care less whether it's the payment type is right or wrong, but others certainly do. So how do you fix it if you've posted a payment under the wrong payment type? So in this case, I have posted 300 euros in cash. So to do that, I go to transactions and I go to batch posting. Okay, down the bottom here, I'm going to fill in the account client code, which is ACREO2. I can see it at the top and I can see it down the bottom right hand corner. What I'm doing here is I want to minus out the payment type that was wrong. So in this example, I'm saying that the cash is wrong and it should have been a check. So what I'm doing first is I'm minusing out the cash. Okay, so I'm saying the cash is wrong. I didn't receive 300 euros in cash. I got a check. So I'm going to minus that out. So client code, the payment type that I want to minus out, and you put a minus figure in for the figure that you're taking out. I press OK, and then post transactions. Say yes and no to these questions. And then if I just give it a refresh, so if you just click down the bottom and press enter, it'll refresh the account and you can see the debit's back. The debit's back because I've minused out the cash. And now what I can do is I can repost the monies this time correctly as the check. Click allocate or automatic, and that does it. And that finishes this process. So that was me minusing out 300 euros in cash and reposting the monies as a check. And now the account is back to zero. Everything is allocated. See those C's? That's how you know if the account is balanced. And if I look at the daily cash book, Now I should see €300 as a check for relay accounts. And there it is. So check, €300. And if you look at the cash, you can see, look, there's the plus 300 and there's the minus 300. So you can fix that problem in Relay if you have posted them the wrong payment type, so cash, check, card, etc., and you want to fix it. So unfortunately, we just cannot do a post fix like we can do with the premium posting. You have to go into the batch posting area and minus it out and then redo it. Again, don't worry, I'm going to be giving you a recording on this so you can watch it back for the exact steps. Let's have a quick look at the renewals. So you can see here I have a policy that's up for renewal at the moment. Has new business and it's due up around now. So how do we offer out renewals in Relay in terms of the accounts? Well, again, if I go to the premium posting button, you can see here I have different options in the premium type. So I have provisional renewal and confirmed renewal. So this is a common question in terms of, well, which one do you do? Again, it really depends on your brokerage. Depends on how you want to go with it. So provisional renewal basically means it's only a provisional offer. If I post a provisional renewal, it'll raise up the debit on the accounts. I can generate my documents, but I would not see the transaction in the company rec area that we were looking at a moment ago because it's only provisional. Okay. However, if I did post a confirmed renewal, I would definitely see that in the company rec. So it's up to yourselves. In my experience, most brokerages would always post a provisional renewal for personal lines because obviously it's more fickle business. People move around and shop around and move more frequently, whereas commercial policies, the commercial customers tend to be more sticky and they have a longer relationship and they pretty much know whether they're going to renew or not. So again, that's kind of a decision for you guys to make internally. I'm just going to post a provisional renewal on this. So I'm posting a provisional renewal. The status currently says new business with 2020. So let's press OK and see what happens. So the status has changed to renewal offered. There's the date has moved on, and now I have a provisional debit of 425 on the account. Okay. So if you look at the accounts, there it is. But the company side, look, there's nothing in the company side because I just posted a provisional. So I suppose the question can be is, well, how do I confirm that? Well, you can confirm it by just receipting the money. Once the money is paid, that will automatically change to renewal and it'll automatically post a confirmed transaction in the company tab. So simply just pay it. And that's why I like provisional renewals because it's so easy to confirm it. You just, once you get paid, the system will automatically confirm it. It'll post the transaction in the company tab, and then it'll also be visible in the company rec for reconciliation. Okay. Another question is, what if I want to confirm it before I've been paid? So what, maybe I've spoken to the account holder and they've told me, listen, we're definitely going ahead with you. I'm getting paid next week and I'll be back. So somebody might want to just change that to confirmed. If you just click the premium button and you click on the drop down menu and you can see, look, confirmed renewal. And all you have to do is press OK. And the system will automatically change that from renewal offer to renewal. And the debit will still be there. So that's all I do. Just click confirm renewal and press OK. What happens if they're not going ahead with you? So what if you spoke to the customer and said, no, I'm not going ahead with you. I don't need a travel policy this year, obviously with COVID, etc. I'm not going anywhere, so just not going ahead with it. So what do you do? So premium button, click on the drop down menu and you can see there's an option here, renewal policy lost. Renewal policy loss is what you use if the customer is cancelling the renewal. So they're not going ahead with you, okay? It's done. So renewal policy lost, you can see it actually pulls in the figures, would automatically take down this debit and change the status to cancelled. Okay, so we post premiums to put them up, and we should be posting premiums or receipting money to take them down. Okay, remember what I said about post fixing? This is a common example of a mistake that users often make. They talk to the customer. He says, "Oh, I'm not going to have it. Thanks anyway." And instead of them posting the correct premium type, which, as I said, would be renewal policy lost, they just go to the accounts tab and they select the premium and they select posted in error. That's completely wrong. Okay. Yeah, it'll take down your debit, but in terms of your business reports, it doesn't know that you've had a cancelled renewal because basically somebody just wiped the renewal. It doesn't know it's been cancelled because you need to post a cancelled premium in order for it to turn up on reports. Okay, so don't make that mistake with posted in error. Okay, if they're not going ahead with it, you post the premium and you pick renewal policy lost. Alternatively, you might have offered them an alternative renewal. So when you were rebroking it, you shopped around, you said, well, actually Zurich is cheaper, they're offering a cheaper price, and you've included that in your letter. So that's quite common. So you get talking to the customer and says, yeah, I want to renew it, but I want to go with the alternative. I want to go with Zurich in this case. Okay, so what do we do here? So this is just the transfer process, guys, that I'm going to just demonstrate. And again, this is a very common mistake that people kind of follow the process wrong. So you can see here, I've posted a provisional renewal for AIG. I've just spoken to the customer and he says he wants to go with the Zurich one, which is cheaper. If I right click and select copy policy, you'll see it right there, copy policy, and it makes a carbon copy of that line. If there was any risk information on line number 1, it'll pull down into line number 2. So I've copied it down, great. And then what I need to do is just tell the system that this is going to be lapsed for transfer. So I need to get this down, this debit, and I need to change the status. So if I click premium, you can see it automatically goes for lapse for transfer. I think that's what I'm trying to do. And in this case, it just happens to be what I'm trying to do. But remember, there is other options. I press OK. And the system takes down the debit. It changes the status on line number 1 with AIG to lapse for transfer, which is what I want. And now I can go to line number 2. And if I click premium, the system knows that I'm trying to do a transfer premium. And now I can put in the details of this new policy with Zurich. And I can put in the cheaper premium fee and press OK. And now you can see the Zurich one there. So we'll just put that back. There you go. So there's the Zurich one. So line number 1 is balanced, it's 0. And now I have line number 2 with Zurich, and there's a debit there, 325 outstanding. And then to finish, I just need to receipt the money. So I'll just receipt that money as cash. So why is that important? Well, in Relay, we have business reports to tell you how many new business cases you had, how many cancelled, how many lapsed. It's here in reports, management and business analysis. So if you have staff members who are not posting premiums correctly and or using posted in error incorrectly, then your stats in your business analysis report, you just cannot trust them. It's just going to be bad MI. So that's why it's just very important when staff are posting premiums that they're posting correctly. Okay. And as I said, when you click on a premium button on a particular policy line, the system looks at the status and the renewal date, and it'll give you options based on what you're looking at. Okay. So endorsement is an MTA where the client owes you money. A return is an MTA where you owe the money back. Midterm policy loss means that they've cancelled the policy full stop during the year. Midterm lapse is basically where you're transferring the business from one insurer to the other during the year. Lapse for transfer is basically where they have decided to transfer over to the alternative insurer that you've offered at renewal. And then renewal policy loss means that the policy is being cancelled at renewal. If you pick a return or lost or lapsed or any of those type of premium types, you never need to put a minus into the gross premium. The system knows that it's to be minused. But if you're giving back the fee, you will need to put a minus fee in if you're giving it back. Okay, so let's have a look at a client journal transfer. So this is a common situation. In fact, I had it this morning. Somebody just emailed me asking me how we do it this morning. So this is a situation where there's going to be a credit on an account, and we need to transfer the credit over to possibly a spouse account. So you can see, actually, I have that set up in this case. I have a Ryan Lawler. He bought a travel policy with Zurich, and because of COVID, he wants to cancel it, get his money back, and transfer it to, he wants to cancel it. He wants the account to be put in credit, and the instruction is to transfer the credit over to his wife's account. So Rachel, if I just pop into her account for a second, just to show you what's going on with her. So Rachel is looking after the home insurance policy for this couple, and there's a €500 debit outstanding. Okay, so basically the instruction from Ryan is cancel that travel policy and transfer the €250 credit over to Rachel's account, and that will obviously take down this debit by that amount. So let's just do that then. So the steps are, step number one is I have to cancel this policy, because if I look at the accounts tab, I can see that he has paid it. I posted a new business for $250 and he received it. The money's been paid. So how do I cancel it? So if I go to the premium button, the system is giving me a new business not taken up, and that's basically what I want. A new business not taken up means that the customer has cancelled the policy within the cooling off period, which is 14 days. Now again, your own brokerage might have a smaller number than that, or a bigger number than that in terms of the cooling off period. It's up to yourselves. But the standard, I think, compliance-wise, is 14 days, and that's what new business not taken up is for. So I want to cancel it. So new business not taken up. He paid us €250, and I'm going to give him the full amount back. So in gross premium, all I need to do is put in €250. Okay. If he had paid like a €25 fee and I wanted to give that back to him, I would need to put in minus 25 here. Okay. But he didn't pay any fees, so I'm leaving that at zero. Alternatively, you might just give him back the premium. You might hold on to the fee. That's something that a lot of brokers do. If you cancel, we keep the fee. So, but in this case, he only paid $250, so I'm just leaving it on that. I need to go to cover details, and I put in just a description. And the system will force me to do this, so I'm just preempting that. So cover details, temporary cover details, and okay. So you can see now the status has changed to new business not taken up, and I have a credit on the file of $250. So that's what I want, and now I need to transfer the credit. So how do I do it? Well, if you go to the transactions button, there's an option here called Client Journal Transfer, and it opens up a little window. So this is basically where we can transfer the credit from Ryan's account to his spouse's account, Rachel's account. And basically these are the steps. So it's asking me for the client code. Well, the client code is for Ryan's account. It's down the bottom. It's Larry01. And I'm just putting in a narrative. Again, you can put in whatever narrative you want. That's really up to you. And I'm putting in €250. And I press add. Okay. So that's step number one. And then step number two is I just need to put in the details for Rachel's account. Okay, so for Rachel, you would need to know obviously her client code to do this. So before you start, you would need to just put in the details. Okay. So the credit there under Ryan's account for $250, and then there's a minus transfer amount of $250 over to Rachel's account. Okay. So debit and credit. So I started off by putting in this one here for Larry01. So Larry01 credit plus $250, and I added it. And then the next thing I did was I added in this credit amount. So Lara01, which is Rachel's account, and transfer minus $250, and I added it. And now to finish, I just need to press OK. It's asked me, do I want to post these journals? Yes, I do. And if I just give it a refresh, you can see now that Ryan's account is balanced. I have zero. And in the accounts tab, there's the new business not taken up in the journal. Now they're not actually allocated to each other. So I'm going to fix that problem by going to cash and click automatic. So I've posted a new business not taken up in a journal. They don't automatically allocate to each other in this scenario. So I have to do it by clicking automatic and OK. Don't worry if you forgot to do that, because as part of the month-end process, you actually will be running a little check-in process to pick them up by going to transactions and auto cash posting. So as part of the month-end process, the accounts person would pick them up anyway if you missed them. So Ryan's account is balanced. It's 0, and if I look at the cash screen, everything is allocated, and I'm good to go. Now, if I pop over to Rachel's account, I should see the credit. So this is Rachel's account, and the debit of 500 is now 250, and that's because if I look at the accounts tab, I can see the journal of 250 has been transferred over, and that's why the debit is down. So to finish now, accounts wise, we just need to go to cash, and then she just needs to pay the balance of 250 by whatever method she's paying. So I'll just pick bank transfer. And this stage, I click automatic, and it cleans it all up, and okay. So that's basically how you can do a client journal transfer. So transactions and client journal transfer. Again, I'll record this, and also on our YouTube page, we do have specific videos for all of these particular processes. So I do have a video specifically for client journal transfer, just to show you that, guys, just on our YouTube page. So you go to YouTube, Applied Systems Ireland, and this is basically where you'll find all of our training videos for the system. And if you go into accounts, which is there, view full playlist, and you'll see a video for nearly everything that I demonstrated. And that one there is called Client Journal Transfer. So don't worry about remembering all the steps for everything that I'm showing you here today. I just want to kind of get into your head how the system actually kind of works and what you can do on it. So on the YouTube page, Applied Systems Ireland, you can get access to all of these videos, whether it's for accounts or the products that we looked at yesterday, the motor products, ComQuote and Home. Everything is here. There's training videos for everything. Also, the videos that we are, these sessions that I'm delivering this week are available in the webinar section, the webinar playlist. So I'm uploading them to our YouTube page as I go this week. Okay. So in terms of accounts, guys, that's really pretty much what I wanted to cover today. I suppose the main points to make is that you have to use the system correctly. So post premiums, pick the correct premium types to put them up, and pick the correct premium types to bring them back down again. Remember what I said about post and error? So post and error is only to be used if you've made a mistake when you posted up the premium, or maybe you have negotiated a cheaper fee, and that's fine as well. I have no issue with that. But certainly if the customer has cancelled the policy or transferred it or lapsed or whatever, we have particular premium postings to deal with those scenarios. So just please keep that in mind. And also stress, if you've made a mistake, don't just open up the policy details screen by double clicking on the line and making changes here. Okay, that's wrong. That's just not correct. So just please keep that in mind. So that's it for today, I think, guys. So tomorrow the plan is to look at the features in Relay in a bit more detail. So tomorrow I'm going to be looking at things like Outlook integration, the diary system, the note system, maybe the leads management system, which is good as well, and obviously letters. So they're the main things that I'll be talking about and demonstrating yesterday. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thanks a million for joining the session. And again, I'll get you a recording of this on probably the next hour or so.